For those of you who have been on this journey with me for a while, you know that I use a set of index cards and a method called the Ivy Lee method to keep myself as organized as I possibly can. And just recently, I found another use for just one index card and three little words that can make all the difference in the world when you're trying to figure out your future and how to do things better. I'm going to share the index card, the three words with you, all of that, and hopefully it'll make a difference in this episode of the VOHeroes podcast. So with the Ivy Lee method, you're supposed to leave out an index card with the top three things that you want to get done the next day on your keyboard, so you can't miss it in the morning when you first start work or whenever you start your work. I have recently been putting an index card that I created for myself on my keyboard toward the top where it's out of the way of the keys that I'm using to remind myself of something that I think is so fundamental and so easy to forget that it's worth reminding myself on a regular basis every time I look down at my keyboard. As we move through our crazy whack performance career that nobody could have predicted we'd be involved with, nobody could have predicted how it would turn out, we acquire new skills, we acquire knowledge, we learn more about what to do, more about what not to do, and we realize over time that what we were operating with a year ago, 2 years ago, 5, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, earlier in our lives, may or may not make sense today. You may have heard the phrase when talking about the stock market. We've talked about it in these podcasts, about how our business works. It's very similar to the stock market in that brokers and investment counselors and financial gurus will tell you that the past performance of a stock has no bearing whatsoever on its future performance. In fact, in some cases, investment funds are required to tell you that either in the fine print at the bottom of an ad or by the announcer speaking it. Past performance does not guarantee future performance, or our success may not be your success. Well, I recently found a version of that brings it down to just three words. And I dropped it onto a piece of an index card, on an index card. And this is powerful for me, and I want to share it with you. See if you can read that. History isn't destiny. And this is the card that I have right there on my... I wish I could tilt the camera down, but I'm not going to move my camera ever. History isn't destiny. Very simple thing. Very simple thing. But it's easy to forget. It's easy to come up with a set of rules for one moment in your life and then try your best to use those rules forever, right? But things change. You get better at something, or something deteriorates. You know, I didn't have to wear glasses for a long time. I had great eyesight. I had 20/10 vision for most of my life. And now, I'm suffering with the Lawrence family curse, But that also plays in the opposite direction. When you set out to make yourself better at something, to add to your skills, to reduce the speed bumps in your life, make those problems that you have less or even go away. So the history that you have isn't the destiny that you will enjoy. So the reason I remind myself of this is I get into a rut. I'm like, okay, that works. Okay, fine. But then I come up with something that works better. a keyboard combination as opposed to moving my mouse to a menu and clicking and then waiting that period of time or using that period of time. I try to bring that into everything that I do as I teach voiceover and teach audiobook narration and teach everything else that I teach. And certainly when I do my own performance work in terms of how I handle my script work, how I handle the detective work of seeing what I'm going to do with a character or what I'm going to do with a particular project, if it's something short, like a commercial, how I'm going to put myself in that position of helping the listener or the viewer get their job done. What is it about that gets better and better and better, and I leave behind my history in favor of my destiny? History isn't destiny. You have an amazing future ahead of you as you acquire more knowledge, as you acquire more experience, as you do less of what doesn't work and more of what does, success. I just wanted to share that with you. So maybe you might want to create a postcard like that. And maybe you might want to just take a, Post-it note or something and stick it on your monitor or on your keyboard. I don't know. But I want you to be aware of that. And I want you to know that you have no idea what's coming down the pike. You have no idea what lovely things are going to be happening to you in the future. And how you'll be able to deal with that is by remembering that whatever you've experienced does not lock you into something you have yet to experience. Does any of this resonate with you? If so, I would love to see a comment below this video. Please let me know what you think. Hit the like button if you like what you're hearing. You can subscribe to the channel. You can hit the notification bell. You can make that amazing little ding sound. Yeah. And be notified when we have another episode. Please do so. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I thank you so much for watching and for listening. Feel free to forward this to a fellow actor or voice talent that you think might benefit. And I will see you in the next episode of the VOHeroes podcast.